Hi everyone! So I'm going to just do a little three-part series on IBS because as a nutritionist, IBS is something I see pretty much every day in my clinics. It's also my bread and butter as a nutritionist, as ask any nutritionist, talking about guts is what we do all day long. So firstly, irritable bowel syndrome is what it stands for. There's a difference between irritable bowel syndrome and irritable bowel disease, which I will explain in a moment. But irritable bowel syndrome is when you could have any of the following symptoms. So that's possibly constipation, diarrhea, severe bloating, possible cramping, gas, foul-smelling stools. You might even have any types of blood in the stool. Now, the difference between that and IBD is that IBD is a more severe inflammation of the gut lining, and that is when you have Crohn's or colitis. It could be type of stomach ulcers, peptic ulcers, which are a lot more severe, but can also be fixed and done quite a lot with nutrition to improve them. Now, what is normal? How do you know if you have IBS? Well, you know, if you have any of those symptoms that I've described, it's quite common. That is that you have type of IBS, whether there's urgency there, whether that's constipation when you're not able to go, or when you're going too many times a day. When the stool is loose, when it's not solid, that would indicate possible types of IBS because the bowel is irritated. You're either not absorbing vitamins and minerals properly. There's something that's going on anywhere from the mouth through the gastrointestinal tract that is causing you to have possibly loose stools or watery stools. And by constipation, I mean anyone that is going less than 1 time a day. You really want to be going 2 to 3 times a day at minimum, because in an ideal world, you have 1 meal in and 1 meal out, because otherwise we're just backing up the food, and you're backing up the food in the intestine. And as you do that, it means that food can start to putrefy, bacteria can start to proliferate. It can also be that you're not able to detoxify as much as you need to. Now, how is IBS diagnosed? Well, you can go to your doctors and get it diagnosed. You can also pretty much just work it out yourself if you're experiencing digestive discomfort. You can also have stool tests to see if there's pathogens in there, if you've got any bugs, any bacteria. You might find that if you're suffering really severely, then the doctor will send you for a colonoscopy or an endoscopy, which is essentially inserting cameras into parts of the gastrointestinal tract to see if there's anything going on in there. Now, it's you can do all of this yourself. You can also find out, you know, there's a lot of research that you can do online to have IBS, but you generally know if your guts aren't working properly. So I want you to stay tuned tomorrow, because we're going to talk a little bit more about what the causes are. So triggers, if you're unsure that, you think, oh, how can I have IBS? I've never had anything wrong before. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the triggers that may cause your IBS and possibly leading also into your IBD. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. Thank you.